Hey, what's up guys? I'm Lou and welcome to another exciting tutorial. So today we're going to be learning about on how to render this product. Okay, and then I'll be starting to show you guys how to set up the first material and then the rest, so on and so forth. And then we'll be looking into metallic kind of materials, and then we have rubber type, leather type, and then plastic, high gloss. And then after that, we'll be looking into on how to put up a proper lighting to render this product. Okay, so here we are, and then we have the scene. So as you can see, like right over here, we are having quite a lot of lights, and then the product is in the middle, and then we have a camera right here that showcase like our product, and then we have some lights that is light up in the scene, and yeah. That's it. Okay, so firstly, I would like to turn off everything by clicking all. Okay, by the way, we are in the display tab, and then we click all to turn off everything, and then we can uncheck geometry so that we can get our products back. Okay, which basically it's the polygon. So you can see like right here, if I'm turning on the wireframe using F4, so you can see that like we have quite a lot of parts. Okay, so if I move this around, okay, you can see like what's inside, and then also like there is some screws and right here, and then also there's a text like Phillips text over there. Okay, and then like we have some LED lights. Okay, and then so we'll be looking into part by part. Alright, so I'm going to start the whole thing with an empty like basic shader. So I'm going to turn this up like this is a material editor. Material editor. You can click M for that, and then right now I'm going to be using utilities and reset the whole thing. Reset material. Okay, and by the way, sometimes like if you're first like starting up with 3ds Max, and most probably you will be seeing this like slate material mode. So just wait a while, it takes a bit of time. Alright, there you go. Okay, so you'll be having this. And then for a beginner, I'll recommend you guys to go for compact material editor. Okay, so it is easier for us to play around with and then to set things up. And then by default you should be seeing 3x2. Okay, and then actually you can right click at any of that shader. This is called a shader, and we can go to 6x4. Okay, all right. And then the second thing that we have to do is, because today we're not talking about standard materials, but we'll be looking into Vray materials. Okay, and by the way, for info, Vray, it's a very good rendering solutions. Okay, for products like for interiors, exteriors, and then even for productions. All right. So if you want to know more about Vray, like you can look into here, and then I can show you. All right, so we can tap Vray, and then we can go to here. So yeah, that is Vray. Okay, and then in the website, like there is some showcase like showing you like the end results of Vray, and then what can Vray do. Okay, so you can see like this is some visual effect shots. This is some interiors, and then we have some products. Okay, it looks pretty realistic. It's really good. All right. Okay, that's the model. Okay, we can use Vray to render like very good results. Okay, especially like if you take a look at the metals, okay, and then the materials and the reflections, the lighting, it's awesome. All right, so now we're gonna get back to our product. Okay, firstly we're gonna go to our render setup. Go to here. Okay, then by default you will be having a scanline render. So it's set to default, and then if you're not turning on Vray, you can't use any of the Vray stuff. Okay, Vray stuff meaning like the Vray materials and also the Vray lighting. Okay, So we're gonna go to here, render it, and then we're gonna choose Vray ADV. Okay, once we turn on Vray, so here's some basic setups that we have to go through with. Alright, so you go to Vray tab, and then you have to change the image sampler from progressive to bucket. Okay, basically because progressive gives you some noise, like it's a work in progress render, and then for bucket it gives you a better quality render. Okay, next we're gonna have to look into GI, and then for GI, under GI we have to change from primary engine brute force to irradiance map. Okay, and then look further down, like currently the preset is being set to high because it sets the production quality. But for our case, because we are testing out the results, okay, and then we have to change to low. Okay, because if you are still not too sure that what's the final results, and then you're using a high quality setup, and it's gonna take very long time. So for under the sub Ds, we're gonna reduce it down to 20. Okay, all right, so here we go, we can continue. All right, firstly I'm just gonna drag and drop to the whole thing. Okay, assign to selection, it says, let's click OK. All right, so now we're having all the products with the same shader. Okay, so we're gonna change this to white. All right, and if you click F4 and F4 for info, it's wireframe on shaded mode. Okay, so at the moment I'll be clicking Ctrl L to turn on the lighting, right? Because we don't want to look at any of the lights, and then we just want to focus on setting up the materials. So at first, I think we're gonna start setting up the rubber. Okay, there's the rubber layer down below here. All right, which is supposed to be black. So I'm gonna click one of those, like from the second one, and just double click. And actually, it doesn't matter. You don't have to follow the sequence. So normally, whenever I want to set up a material, I'll be double clicking this. Okay, and then after that, the second step will be going to here. So we're gonna click background. So we have a basic background for us to refer to. And next, okay, so we're gonna switch this to Vray. So if you click this button, standard, and then you look into Vray, and then here it is. Okay, so throughout the whole thing, we're gonna be using Vray materials plus another one. Okay, but mostly Vray materials. Okay, just double click on that. Okay, so let's turn on again. Then let's rename this to rubber. Alright, so what's the color of rubber? So normally we'll be using black. So let's turn to black. Then Vray, it's pretty simple. We have a few things that we need to keep that in mind, and we adjust accordingly. So the first thing is the reflection, and the second thing is refract. Okay, so just keep this in mind, very simple. So reflect means you have a reflection. Okay, so let's say for example a glass has a reflection, and then a ceramic has a reflection, and then metal has a reflection. Okay, and then refract, we only use refract for transparent. Okay, transparent materials. So if it's a glass, then we will be turning this refract to white, but since we're making a rubber, so we won't be touching any of the values in refract. Okay, so let's go to reflect, and then we have some degrees of reflections. All right, but for a rubber, usually you don't get to see that clear reflections. We would like to turn it to blur. Okay, and then there's another thing where you need to memorize or understand, is that reflection glossiness right here, our glossiness, allows us to make that reflections blur. Okay, the lower the number, it gets blurry, but of course keep that in mind, it takes longer time to render whenever it gets blurry and blurry. Okay, so right now we're just gonna put it to 0.65. I think that's a good value, so that we can use it. Okay, so the next thing is, how do we pull over? Okay, simple as that, drag and drop, that's it. Okay, but at the moment it seems a little bit confusing where this is black and the other one is black. Okay, so next we're gonna look into how to set up this. Okay, we have the picture just now, here. So you can see it's a kind of like a silver metal, like with scratches, okay, on top of the surface. Right, so we would like to minimize it, and I will be looking into that material. Okay, so same as usual, we're gonna click the second one. Like, let's say we put like silver, not really silver, but silver color. All right, so we look into standard, and then we double click on Vray material, and double click on that, and then we're gonna turn on the backgrounds. Okay, so same thing, I'd like to turn it to slightly darker. All right, and then we're gonna have some degrees of reflection. Okay, all right, so how to get that scratches? Okay, so other than this two, actually, like if you go down to here, you can see like we have options, we have maps. So if we look into maps, you can see that actually we can do a lot of things. Like right here, we can input all sort of mapping, like we can use a picture, like even you create it from Photoshop or you get it online, you can put it here, and then so it makes some changes to the values of that materials. Okay, what you're seeing over there just now, like right here, so it's because that we're putting a bump map, okay, towards here, so that it gives you those kind of brush lines. All right, so let's go to bump and apply a noise. Double click on that. So at the moment you see it started to change, okay, and that this one turns differently. So if you click to here, you see that UI and this UI seems different, okay, because basically we're into the bump map itself right now. Okay, to get that kind of results, we have to turn off one, just turn on one of those and then turn off the rest. So we can try to turn off this, and we turn off that, okay, and then still not quite close yet, because the size of the noise is actually quite big. So we can go to here, and then we reduce maybe down to 0.2. Let's see what happened. Okay, so right now we are having this, I think it pretty much close, okay, but we're not too sure yet, like whether like the lines goes like horizontally or vertically. Okay, so there's a way to check. All right, so let's go back to parent, clicking this button, okay, and then right here, because normally whenever you want to see the color, of course, like let's apply first, and this is where you see the colors, okay, and it's also a place where you can see what is being displayed. So at the moment, if you go down to maps, all right, so here's the map, and then if you would like to visualize what is going on with this, we have to drag and drop and make a copy, okay, but copy instance. So instance meaning whatever we change at one of those, it will follow the rest, okay. So if I change like any values right here, and then this one will follow. If I change here, vice versa. Okay, let's click OK, and then let's go to here, and then let's click show shaded material in viewport. Okay, this one seems to looks a little bit weird, okay, but that's okay. We're gonna isolate this. So by the way, isolate is another function, like we can click right here, that it will hide the rest, okay, so temporarily, and then it will be showing this only. And this one seems to have a bit of problem. Okay, it went disappeared. All right, I'm not too sure why it went disappeared, but not a problem. We can always fix this by going to modify tab, and then we can reconvert to editable poly, and let's apply and unwrap UVW. Okay, and then if it still doesn't show, it's okay, like we can go to here and click render production, and see what is going on. Alright, so at the moment, like we can see, like this is kind of weird, and then the patterns are going in a spiral way. Okay, but before it finishes render, we can click escape to cancel, and then let's go to here, settings, and then we can change to high quality. Alright guys, so just now it doesn't seem to appear, but after I go to here, user define, and then I change to DX mode, and I change to high quality mode, but right now it seems to show everything. Maybe it just takes a bit of time. Okay, so it doesn't look good right now, so we can go to here, and then we can turn it back to 0 by right clicking this, and then turn this to 1. Okay, and then we're gonna render and see whether it is really showing or not. Okay, as you can see, this looks very good. Okay, so it follows the correct pattern where it's supposed to go to. Alright, so let's click cancel by using escape button. Okay, so right at the moment, this one seems over bright, but that is the lighting problem that we're gonna fix later on. Okay, so let's go back to parent. Okay, and then we're gonna turn off or clear the maps in diffuse. Okay, because we doesn't want this kind of like black and white strips color to be painted on our materials. Okay, we just want the texture naturally, like if you touch and feel, so you feel the roughness but you don't see it. Okay, like in the color itself. Okay, so let's go to here, and then we're gonna be adding the bump effects a little bit more, up to 50. If you double click this again, right here, that's what you see. Okay, if we go into here, and then I would probably want to reduce this down to 0.1. Okay, hopefully it looks better. Okay, and then if we back to parent, so right here you can see like the reflection looks quite clear. Okay, even though like you have lines over there, so we might need to turn this down to maybe about 0.75. Okay, so this doesn't mean it goes more glossy, but just that the reflection gets a little bit blurry. And then right here, I'm gonna turn it like darker. Okay, right, once we're finished and we're done, and then we can click this button to exit. Okay, so now you can see clearly like this is gray color, and then that is a black color. All right, so next we're gonna be setting this up with white color. Okay, or probably I think maybe a better combination. Sorry, we don't have the picture anymore. Okay, so it's actually depending on like how you want it to blend the colors with. So at the moment we are trying another material. Okay, so maybe something slightly brighter. Okay, slightly brighter. We don't want everything to look dark. So we go to here, and then we click standard, and then we click Vray, and then double click on that, and then click this. Okay, so I think we're gonna set like plastic. Okay, plastic. All right, and then maybe like close to white. Okay, just keep in mind that if I'm putting in like full white, and whenever the light shines onto it, it might look a little bit overexposed. Okay, so I will be setting it like about gray, close to white, like 30% more before it gets completely white. Okay, and then I'll be turning on this reflect. Okay, somehow it has a bit of blurriness with the reflection, but not too much, like 0.85. Okay, that's it. All right, done. Let's assign to here, and then let's assign to here. Okay, so the next thing is the screw. All right, Let's collapse this, and then let's reselect the screw. Okay, so I'm using control, holding down control to add selections. Okay, so I'm selecting 4 right now, and yep. All right, so normally for screws it is highly reflective. Okay, and then I'll be setting up a new material, okay, for screws. So clicking standard, and then change to Vray, and double click on that, and let's click background. Okay, so I'll be setting up something that looks a bit like stainless steel or a screw types of material. So if we go into here, I will look into that, like screw. Okay, so you can see that we have a few types, like where this is like white color, and then like silver white, like highly reflective gloss, or another type which is black, and you still see the reflections, but the reflections looks a little bit like blurred. Okay, and then this is another type. All right, so I'll be setting something that close to this. Okay, so setting that down to here. Okay, you might be asking like why it's been black, like since we're looking at this. Okay, but from the understanding, like you can see, like all the colors come from reflections. Okay, and then it's highly glossed, so that's why you are having like kind of like black and white. So but imagine that if you doesn't have any objects or environments surrounding it, that it might be looking black. Okay, because as you can see, like this is black, like this is not like from the correct angle, like light maybe comes from the middle, okay, from front. So that's why you're seeing like this is white, this is black. Okay, and the rest, like it's a combination. Okay, so we're gonna putting it at about that color. All right, and then we're gonna turn on like reflect to maybe completely white. Okay, here's the next thing. Okay, so how do we make it like high gloss, like that kind of material? So you can see like right here we have this L button. Okay, so we're gonna click this to unlock that IOR, and then we're gonna go to here and then change the values from 1.6 to about like 7 or 8. Let's put 8. Okay, so it becomes like a mirror. All right, but it doesn't matter. If we go to here, reflection glossiness, and then we reduce this down to 0.65, then basically it becomes something like what we liked. All right, so closed, and this I'll select screw. Okay, and I'm gonna click that assign material to selection. Okay, cool. All right, so for the next part, for that I think I'm gonna be setting up that rubber material. Okay, and then this one I'm gonna be setting up a white color plastic. Okay, with high reflections maybe. Okay, so let's go to here and then click background, double click background, and then go and change to V-Ray, click again. So this is white plastic. All right, so let's put the white. So this one I want it like really white. Okay, so reflections, clicking this and then turning it up to maybe almost white, and then put it down to 0.9. Okay, that's cool. All right, let's assign to it. Okay, and then here's the same. So clicking this, clicking that, using control, and then assign material to selection. And for that thing in the middle, okay, I think it's some kind of like connectors, okay, where it kind of like locked this cover on top of it. I think we can try with black rubber or plastic. Okay, so we can try with this one first and then see how well it blends with the others. Okay, whereas the Phillips wood, okay, we're gonna assign a different material, but at the moment I'm gonna need to convert to ethical poly. Okay, so you might be asking like why again, like why do we need to use editable poly and then not using editable mesh? So basically it's just personal preferences, okay? But of course, like if you want to compare side to side, editable poly has some more functions compared to editable mesh, okay? So I can select that, okay? It's pre-selected. If you want to know how, I can select all this, then unselect that, okay, using alternate. Go to here, unselect those. All right, there you go. So I'm gonna be making another material that looks a little bit shinier, okay? That will probably have lights in it if we wanted to. So for lights, I'll be using the standard materials, okay? Like let's say lights, and then we're gonna put like blue color maybe, okay? And then we're gonna turn on self-illumination and click assign. Okay, I mistook this. I'm gonna put this back to white plastic. Okay, I think we're good. All right. And we're gonna be putting these 3 lights with that. Okay. All right, next. So the other side is the same. Okay, I have this like pre-selected. Okay, assign with light materials. And also this 3. 1, 2, 3, using elements. And then assign again and turn it off. Okay, so I think like pretty much completed for the overall. Okay, but of course, I think I need to hide this for a while. Click hide. Oh, that's what else do we have? Okay, of course we have something else at the back. Okay, but anyways, I'll be quickly like applying this. So this is a rubber, okay, or a leather. So we're gonna be putting this, and then the other one, okay, the pieces we're gonna be using probably like sort of like rubber, a leather type, okay, but it's not exactly like leather, okay. So we're gonna use about the same like material by dragging and drop to here and make a clone. I would say like rubber version 2, okay, but for this time I'm gonna make it slightly brighter. Okay, double click on that, and then if you really want to make it like a leather type, we can go to here and then we can look for like leather bump texture. Okay, and then we can apply the same kind of like thing like how we apply to the top to cover the silver thing. Okay, with bump maps. Okay, we're gonna be using this. Right click and save as. Save to day. All right, left from YY. Here's leather bump. Okay, let's click here. All right, let's go to here. Look down. Maps, bump map, and then if you want to load an external map, you have to click bump map and then you have to load from bitmap. Okay, so let's go to here and deep data and then learn from YY. That's my channel, by the way. Open up. Okay, that's what we got. Right, but it seems like that the stuff it's being huge and then we're not too sure whether it looks good or not. We have to do the same treatment. Okay, so by going back up and like drag and drop this to here, and then let's click instance and let's apply. Okay, let's apply to here and let's click show. Wow, I think it looks pretty huge and ugly. Okay, it looks like a fish scale. Okay, but never mind. So we can go into here and under toweling. So if you want to repeat that textures, and then under toweling we can put it up to like about like 5. Okay, see whether it works or not. Okay, I think it works over here, but from the side view it doesn't seem to work. So, or maybe about like 8 by 8. I think it looks better. Okay, this could go like probably a bit complicated, and I'm beginning on how to fix like UV. What is UV? You guys might be asking why again, like what is UV, and then how to fix it and stuff like that. At the moment we'll just be using a quick fix, okay? And then of course if you guys like, I'll probably make another tutorial on how to fix a proper UV and what's the proper understanding of UV and what this UV does, and then the rest. Okay, so to fix that very quickly, I'm just gonna select this and select that. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna fix one by one. So under modifier tab, and then we're gonna click unwrap UV. Okay, click open UV editor. So just select whatever it is right here and click mapping, flatten mapping. Alright, so you can see like this is actually quite big, and then this is pretty small. Okay, so we're gonna make the size so that it looks about the same. So using scale, we're gonna scale it down. Right there. Scale it down until it looks about the same size. Okay, there you go. Let's turn it off and collapse all, yes. Okay, so clicking number 5, select those and make sure they are all being selected. Now let's go to here and unwrap UVW by clicking UN. Alright, so let's open up UV editor, and with that selected, go to mapping, flatten mapping. And again, we're going to be using scale, so look at here and scale it down to about the same size. Alright, there you go. Collapse all. Okay, I think that's it. Alright, now we can go back to parent, and I need to clear this off. Clear. Okay. Alright, and as for that, connectors, I have to make a plastic maybe. Alright, and then for the middle port, I think both are the same. Okay, I think for this one, I'll just be making another rubber. Alright. Rubber version 1, version 2. Okay, let's apply it with that version 2. And now let's apply this with version 1. Okay. So next up, we're having this. So we can select this too and then click that button, isolate button. And then we'll focus on settling out this material. Okay, at the moment we'll be using version 1 and version 2 also. Alright. Let's apply the whole thing with this rubber. Okay, and then with that word selected, of course, you can click select all and then unselect these and then unselect that on the top. Okay, whatever is being hidden, we can ignore at the moment. I'm just going to focus on the visuals. Alright, I think that's cool. Done. Of course, there are some tiny bits that we might want to clean up a little bit before we move on to applying the materials. Okay, there's that. Boom, gone. Okay, it takes a bit of time. There you go. Alright, I think we're done. Okay, so now we can apply this with version 2. Okay, so at least it looks different. Now whenever it lights up, then you can see it's looking quite nice. Okay, turn on F4, select all. Okay, actually it's another object. Just select all and then unselect. Okay, I have it pre-selected, no problem. Just be using that to save some time. Turning it off. That and this. Have number 10. I think the rest are good. So let's go to here and assign with like rubber 2. Okay, very good. Okay, at the bottom part, this is something that looks reflective. Okay, probably not this. Alright, those are metals, so we can use this. We don't have anything else here. So this is another plastic, which I think it can be white, no problem. Okay, so I think we're done. Okay, a quick one. Alright, so next up, I'll be showing you guys on how to set up this light. Okay, so let's turn off the geometry, and then let's select all the lights and delete all of them. Okay, alright, and then you can turn geometry back on and then unhide all. Yes, okay, so we have our ground plane back. So firstly, we would like to turn on the X mode. Okay, and then we go to lights. Okay, and by default you should be seeing photometric, and then we're gonna need to change to Vray. Okay, and then we'll be using Vray light for now. So first, like, we go to here, then let's go to F3 and then draw a light from the top about there. So go back to perspective by clicking P and then pull it up and click F3. Okay, so that is our first light, and then it seems quite nice. Okay, but this is not the results. Okay, because you have to keep in mind that like whenever we have lights here and there, like even we put up to like 10 lights, we'll still look at the final results through render buttons. Okay, so at the moment, like after we set up this, I'll need to go to here, okay, modify, and then I need to reduce this down. Okay, because like for Vray lights, it will always start with multiplier 30, and then I probably will need to reduce it down to about like 4. Okay, just bear in mind that we will be using a lot of lights. Okay, so next we can use hold shift key and make a clone. Okay, copy, and then I'm going to be rotating this so that we have lights coming from about like some certain degrees of angle. Okay, maybe I prefer this better. Alright, and then I'll be changing the size. Okay, from here, make it slightly thinner. Alright, and then because I want the light to be like very consistently shining in, like shooting the lights in from all the angles. Okay, so I'll need to find a way to put that pivot point, okay, that selection point gizmo manipulator into the center of that, and then whenever I duplicate them, so I can have all the lights are placed with the same distance from all different angles. Okay, to do that we need to go to the hierarchy and effect pivot only, and go to here, and let's right click, okay, under that time slider here and here. Okay, right click all the arrows, then it will put it back to the basic values. Okay, so once we're done, let's click this and turn it off. So right now you can see, like if we click E to rotate, so it will be rotate according like to the same distance. All right, So if we want to make a copy, same thing, we're going to use shift and drag. So this time you can see, like, whenever I drag, it shows me how much angles did I rotate it. Okay, so if considering like where this is like 360 degrees, and then if we divide by 30, it will be 12. Okay, but whenever I duplicate, I'm gonna make it a distant instance. Okay, an instance means that whatever values I change, it will follow accordingly. So clicking instance and then click number of copies, 11, not 12, because we minus out the existing ones. Okay, so clicking OK, cool. All right, just wait for a while. Okay, Control L, display lightings. Yeah, I think it needs a bit of time to load up. Okay, there you go. So we already have lights like from here, and then we're gonna need another lights like from like probably below. Okay, somewhere here. So picking up this and shift and put it here. This one I'll make a copy, okay, because I want like them to have like the first row, they all have the same settings, the second row, they all have the same settings. Okay, so go to here and let's put it like slightly smaller. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing, shift, okay, and make it 30. All right, but by the way, like if you're curious about like how do I get a perfect like rotated angle, it's because of this button. Okay, this is angle snap toggle, so you can right click and see the settings. Okay, so here it says like snap options, like each time you rotate by 5 degrees. Okay, so left click to turn on and off. All right, so shift and drag to 30, make an instance and put it 11. Okay, all right, let's go to here and click render. Okay, so we're gonna try our first render. Okay, but it seems like certain things are blocked. Okay, but anyways, I'm gonna show you right away. So click. Okay, what happened? So from our view that we can see our product, but right here it seems black because, so I'm just gonna click cancel first. So because our light is blocking our view, okay, so we have to select that and then go to options and click invisible. Okay, so clicking that, clicking invisible. So if we render again, it will show the full product. Alright, so we're just gonna wait for a while. Okay guys, so we have the first look. I paused the video just now. We have a few things to fine tune. So firstly, the overall lighting is too bright. Okay, we might tone it down, and then also that material up here, it's a bit too bright. Okay, we might want to tone it down also. And then of course the third thing is the rubber. Okay, the second, like rubber version 2, it's too bright. All right, so we're gonna make some changes right now. So go back to the light and let's turn it down to about like 1.5. Okay, for that same thing, 1.5 or maybe 2. Okay, and then after that, so let's look into rubber version 2. So let's make it dark. Okay, just a bit brighter. And then our brush line silver metal. Okay, that is somehow a little bit too bright. Okay, we can put it down to like really dark. Okay, and let's look at another render again. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video and I wait. All right, here you go. It's finished, done. You can see like, okay, this one looks better, and then it's a glow light. Okay, then we have some leather looking material, but it's not very close because this is like 1280. Then it might look a little bit too glossy. Okay, of course we still can spend time like fine tuning the stuff, like the values, like brighter, darker. That's up to you how you want to make it. Okay, so I wouldn't be saying like this is the most realistic materials ever made. Okay, but hopefully it gives you a very good like base to start up. Okay, for beginners, like on how to render this kind of material. Okay, and so that it it provides you something that you can take it back, and then you learn something like from this video. Okay, thank you for watching.